Good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to get the Ferrari 458 Iturdia back on the road.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan and this is my garage and this is the Ferrari 458 Iturdia. And the reason it's the Iturdia is because, well, it's been salvaged, it's kind of a piece of crap, but it's also got 90,000 miles and it actually drives really well. But it's been pretty much put together by apes after the wreck and it's in, well, kind of sad condition. But we're trying to make it a little bit nicer so that the new owner can, well, enjoy it and hopefully have it be more reliable than it already is and have most of the things work that we're supposed to. So we've already fixed a few things like the air conditioner. We sent off the wheels and all the gold stuff to become black. So we think that's gonna look a little bit better. If you like this series, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We do appreciate it. You guys can support us. And of course, go check out normalguysupercar.com. There you can buy parts and services for your supercar. So we do appreciate when you guys support us. All right, let me show you what we're gonna be doing today. We've got the shop dog Mo. Hi Mo, what you doing? He's gonna be helping us. Back from the wheel people, the wheels have been painted black. Yes, no more gold, they're now black. We also put on some brand new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, so you can see these are my favorite tire for these cars. Now, normally on a salvage car, I'm not sure if I'd want to spend this kind of money on them. These are great tires. Like, this is my favorite tire for sports cars. We also got back, where is it? Oh, yep, here. The Cavallino is now black. That should look pretty cool. So we have to put that back on the bumper. We have to put the exhaust tips back on the bumper. We have to get the bumper back on the car. The taillights back in, fender liners back in after we've fixed those. We've stapled them, so they should be in good shape. Then we're gonna bleed the brakes before putting back on the wheels, get everything back together, and then we should actually be able to drive it today. There's one small thing that's missing out of the interior of the car. You'll have to wait around and see what that is in just a minute. I'll show you once we get the car on the ground. But let's get as far as we can and see if we can't be driving this thing later today. That'd be great. What you doing, Mo? You got an itch? Okay. Oh yes, I forgot one last thing. We have an O2 sensor. So we believe that the left bank front O2 sensor right there is not working correctly. So we're gonna replace that one and hopefully that resolves that issue, because those ones you do actually wanna make sure you replace because they actually help manage the fuel management and keep the fuel trims correct, versus the one that's behind the catalytic converter. All that does is make sure the catalytic converter works. So if the rear one goes out, not that big of a deal. The front one goes out, that is a problem. In order to get the O2 sensor disconnected, I had to remove the left-hand panel. You can see the plug is right there. So it's a little bit buried in there, not too terrible to get to. So I got that unplugged. Now we can just unscrew it and replace it. New O2 sensor is in place. It came with a nice heat shielding on it. It also already had anti-seize on it, which was very nice. All right, let's get the bumper out. Let's get the Cavallino on it. Let's get the new exhaust tips on it, and let's get it mounted back up onto the car. Okay, we got the new Cavallino on that side, and we put in the old original exhaust tips, the black ones. We have 4 bolts. Originally when we got it, there was 2 on there, so it was dangling for its dear life. Unfortunately, I couldn't put a bolt there because the little threaded insert is just gone. So, well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. So next up is let's get the bumper back up on the car. And the way to do this is there's tabs. Well, one of the tabs is gone. So there's 2 tabs right there. And then there are 3 tabs up here. So normally there would be 3 tabs and 3 tabs, but we're obviously missing one. So we're gonna mount it on those tabs and then it screws in on the sides. And we're gonna have to try and move it around to get it to align nicely because it did not look very good before. Okay, I got the bumper up and it is not fitting very well as we kind of expected. So first of all, the brackets here are, this grate is definitely like bent. So it's not aligning correctly. Obviously these need to be pulled way up. Here's what's really interesting is down here, so there's a bracket right here and you can see how far off it is right there. That's not good. And then the bracket over here is just gone. And then this is what we were seeing before. So those exhaust tips are actually hitting that metal bar. So that those screws are supposed to go in there and hold the bumper to that bar. And as you can see, this hits that. I don't know what's been out of shape, but we got to get that fixed because otherwise the diffuser's not going to fit right and this is never going to fit right. So we got to do something. Okay, I've got the bumper on and let me tell you, I'm not pleased with it, but it's just so f***ed up from the crash that there's nothing you can do. So here's what's going on. There is, first of all, no screw. The threads right here, the whole section of it is just gone. So I can't get that to close that gap. This one's okay, but you can see it's still a pretty terrible gap. This whole section right here is bent in. The bumper itself is kind of mangled a bit and the mounts for it are all off alignment. So this one, that's tight, believe it or not, that is tight. That's how big the gap is. And this one is tight too, and that's how big the gap is. So this is what you get with a salvage car. There's just nothing you can do. They aren't aligning correctly. I did get this to actually align correctly. So now I'm hopeful that maybe I can actually get the diffuser to sort of sit, maybe. We'll find out. Hopefully I can get the diffuser to actually stay on, but I'm not super encouraged. Okay, fender liners are in, so the next thing we're gonna do is bleed the brakes, and we're gonna use a Motive power bleeder. I have right here. Where are you? There it is. So we're gonna use this guy, and we're gonna be putting in Motil 600. There you go. So that's good stuff. It's really high temp brake fluid. I mean, it's probably more than this car would ever need, but I mean, it's still a Ferrari, so you still want it to be able to do high performance shit. So obviously we got to do that before we put on the wheels. So we'll start with this wheel because this is the furthest from the master cylinder. We'll do the inner, then the outer, then we'll move over to the other side, do the inner, outer, and then the front one's inner, outer. And that should get it all set. So the cool thing about this is we dump our fluid in here, we pressurize it, and it just feeds the fluid right in. It's pretty cool. All right, we've got the brake fluid inside the Motive, and we pressurized it to about 5 psi. Just to start off with, we'll get it up a little bit higher once we start getting the fluid up into the actual chamber. So you can see what it'll do is it'll actually pump in new fluid up into the reservoir. And then what we're doing over here is we'll crack the bleeders and it will feed off into this bottle. So we should see some pretty nasty stuff come out. So this is an 11 millimeter. I got my brake bleeder, spiffy wrench. We'll crack it open and we'll see if we can get some stuff coming out. All right. It's not as bad back here as it is in the reservoir. We probably should suck out the reservoir first. Maybe that's what we'll need to do, because that actually looks like pretty decent brake fluid, although there was a bubble. So I had a little bit of air in there. Not too bad, actually. All right, well, that's a good sign. So at least we weren't gonna die. All right, so this is some serious bullshit. I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I hear this weird noise, and it turns out the hose right there just blew up and it started spraying brake fluid all over the trunk liner. Thankfully, it didn't really get out and hit the paint, but god dang it. What a pain in the ass. And now I gotta clean all this up and fix my hose on that thing. Always something, man. Okay, so that's about 1.5 of these bottles, and you can see that is disgusting. That is not what you want to see for brake fluid. It should be kind of like a amber or dark amber color at the worst. Yeah, I'm glad we did this. Okay, brakes bled, fluid topped off, wheels are on. So now what we gotta do is drop it down, get the panel in place, raise it back up, put the panel on, put the diffuser on, and oh shit. I forgot the taillights. I gotta remove the rear wheels. Okay, never mind, we're not quite done. Awesome. Okay, now we got the taillights in, so we're gonna lower the car, get the lift arms out of the way, put the panel on, raise the car back up, attach the panel, and then the diffuser, and we're all done. And then we're gonna go test drive it. All right, YouTube, back on the ground. All the check engine lights are cleared for the moment, so we'll drive it and see what comes back. And we still might have a few more things to do, but at least it's back driving. And I have to say, like with the black wheels and the black exhaust and the black cavalier, it looks so much better. Let me show you what's going on the inside, because that's the next thing we have to do as well. Well, so you can see the interior is pretty much gone right now because all the leather's going out to get fixed by Jay from Just Like New Interiors. So he's gonna hook us up and get it done pretty soon, and then we'll get this thing back together. And then it's basically ready to go and go bye-bye. So check this out. The front left wheel is not turning. It is literally just dragging. Now I gotta jack that up and figure out what the f***'s going on with that. There's always something, man, always something. Okay, found the problem. Look at that. The bolts are different lengths. So I need to figure out which bolts are which and swap them all around. Great. Okay, YouTube. I swear it's like everything's just trying to make me not be able to finish this car today. All right, well, anyway, let's go drive this thing. Maybe it'll blow up. I'm not confident on anything anymore. Got the battery or the wheel fixed anyway. Okay, we have an AVH failure, we have airbag failure, but we don't have an airbag installed right there, so some of these errors are probably going to be related to that. Okay, another thing we're going to do is open the top, because it's 70 degrees out. Squeak. Okay, let's turn on the AC. Just want to actually run that for a little bit. Wow, we have a cold AC. Oh yeah, I want to go into the computer before we go and tell it to reprogram the TPMS. All right, I did a TPMS calibration. We'll see if it likes that or not. So we did put in TPMS. I might have to program the computer for the TPMS. Wow, that AC is cold. It says TPMS temporarily inactive. It's a lot quieter without the cats. Or with the cats in place. All sorts of rattles from the dash since it's gone. We'll do a little loop and we'll see how much stuff comes back. So far, no check engine light, but we haven't driven it very far. We got to drive it around, you know, for the readiness monitors to reset. That does take a while. Like sometimes it can take like 30, 40 miles. Okay, so without having the dashboard in place, it's so rattly. It's really bad. The dashboard definitely like holds all that together. Still drives great. I'll be curious if we really are playing if the cat over temp comes back. Because a bad O2 sensor might have caused that to get triggered as well. So I'm trying to keep it high up in the RPMs just to see if they'll overheat the cats or not. I will say it doesn't feel like it's getting the misfires like it had before. So it was actually getting some occasional misfires and you could feel it kind of stutter occasionally. It really doesn't feel like it's doing that here. It even feels a little better up above like 7.5. That's where it kind of died before. It feels a little bit stronger. I think maybe that's what it was that O2 sensor was bad, and so the computer wasn't able to adjust the fuel trims very well. The engine feels a little bit smoother, so I'm hoping that's what that was. That was one of the only things that was doing that was a little bit like, we should probably take care of that. Got the AC working. I'll check it again now that we've been driving around, turn on full blast, and probably freeze my butt off. AC is definitely working now. All right, YouTube, so that's about it for now. We got the air conditioner is confirmed as working. We didn't get any O2 sensor failures, no misfires, none of that stuff. So we need to drive it some more, make sure that that's not happening, but so far so good on that. So I think the O2 sensor did fix those problems, hopefully. So those were kind of concerning, and this seems to be running much better. Obviously it looks a lot better with the black wheels, no more gold, and we have the black Cavallino, so that looks good too. So we just need basically the leather to come back, and then it's done. Good enough. Good enough for a salvage car. We appreciate when you guys support us by liking, sharing, subscribing, and of course hit the notification bell. All of those do help us out. And don't forget to go to normalguysupercar.com. There you can buy parts and services for your supercar. We can get you hooked up. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for now. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool car stuff, including working on this a little bit more. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.
With a hey, and then we get down and we start to dance in my booty. Get down and boogie with the tip top, sticking it on the dance floor. I'm not checking you out, I'm just checking your checks. It better be good so I could be bad. I know you fancy. Do you think I'm sexy? Put your arms around where I can see them. Put your hands around where I can feel them. I'll be giving you the satisfaction, but no attraction, no action. It's not about the size, it's how you use what your mama gave you. You snooze, you lose. Look at me dancing. Do you think I'm sexy?